Hey there, trainers, your friendly neighborhood outlaw Johnny Starwind here, and so this is my reaction video, essentially. Last night, from 6:40 to about 8:40-ish, just shy of 2 hours, counting the trailers and everything, I had watched Detective Pikachu movie. And I promise I won't be giving away any spoilers. I'm just going to give my initial reaction to the whole thing. For starters, I was blown away by the amount of Pokemon that I saw. I did try and see if I could find every possible Pokemon. Unfortunately, no. And what I mean by this is I wanted to look for every possible Pokemon that I only was counting possible Pokemon that you could actively interact with, essentially. If it was a drawing or signage or a poster or whatnot, I didn't count it. If it was just a name drop, I didn't count it. I was simply counting a Pokemon that looked to be interactable with the characters in the movie itself. And unfortunately, we didn't get 800. We didn't get 808 or 809 or whatever the current total is now. There were no Gen 8 Pokemon, unfortunately. And unfortunately, one of the trailers for the movie, although that would have been amazing to have that done in the theater, they should have thought about that, there was no trailer for Pokemon Sword and Shield. Nor was there any mention of Pokemon Sword and Shield in the movie itself. But yeah. Let's see. At the run. But I will put it this way. I was trying to keep count of how many Pokemon were interactable in that instance. In the first, about 6 minutes? Yeah, about the first 6 minutes. I counted 14 different, species. 14 different unique Pokemon. Now, there were several groups of these Pokemon, but there were 14 different unique Pokemon within the first 10 minutes at least. And they all looked beautiful. I'm not going to say what they are because, I don't want to give any spoilers away. I guess, but still, God. Okay. This is just a reaction video. I've had all night to stew on the thoughts of what I was going to say. So, Pokemon design. Pokemon design visuals. Oh man, they're so good. I'm glad that they went with the textured designs for stuff, like having the Charizard, which they showed in the trailer, has the scars. The scar looks real. As real as a scar could look on a Pokemon, but still, scar looks real. All the stuff looks really good and whatnot. The texture, the weight of the Pokemon, it makes sense and whatnot. Oh man, there was just so much I could go with this whole movie. All the Pokemon, it's I wish I could have been able to pause the movie so I can actively count each Pokemon that show up. because I mean, we all got that whole rush of Pokemon when in the trailer where we see our main character Tim walk into, well, first enter Rhyme City. You just see all those Pokemon. Well, the scene is a lot bigger. I mean, there's dozens of Pokemon that are in that whole scene that, you know, that little snippet for the trailer did no justice of preparing you for how many Pokemon are in this movie. But surprisingly, there weren't that many different Pokemon. Like, the majority of background Pokemon were all relatively the same Pokemon. You know, it would be a whole cluster of this one or that one or this one or that one. But there was some uniqueness, some differentiating between people and their Pokemon. But I would have loved to have seen more, you know. We saw certain ones, but we could have used a lot more. That's my only gripe. Not enough Pokemon. But, you know, my favorite Pokemon was in there, Bulbasaur. You know, he's my overall favorite Pokemon of all time. And yeah, Bulbasaur not only was a background partner Pokemon, but was also that whole little nature walk scene that they show in the trailer, so that's not a spoiler. Yeah, the whole herd or cluster or pod of Bulbasaurs. I guess pod would be the most appropriate term for a group of Bulbasaurs. Denotes the plant on their back, as well as a pod of, and certain species of creatures, certain species of actual animals when they're in a group are called a pod, notably whales, but it makes the most sense. What else is there? Yeah, there was a variety of Pokemon. There were first gens, second gens, third gens. Unfortunately, this is definitely an unfortunate line for me. Not every starter is in the movie. I know. It's bad. That's a bad part for me, you know. Not every starter is in the movie. I'm not going to say which ones. You have to watch the movie to find out which ones are in it and which ones aren't. But, yeah. Storyline wise, it's a pretty good story. Has a good couple twists. I have yet to play the Detective Pikachu video game, which the movie is based off of. So I do not know how close that storyline ties into the video game storyline. But if anybody out there who has seen the movie and has played the game, leave a comment down below. Tell me how close it was, how distant it was. Was it a half and half? Let me know down below. And I'll think about picking up the game. And I'll think about picking up the game for my DS and giving that a play too. Alright? But yeah, the acting, pretty good acting. A lot of the actors were really good. They were really devoted. And surprisingly, I just recently found a interview of one of the actors who had who this, I guess, had never heard of this, and they never really knew much about Pokemon themselves, and when they got the part, they went out and bought everything they could to do more research on the world. Like, bought all sorts of books and everything about the lore and history of Pokemon and whatnot. Bought a comprehensive Pokedex, and then afterwards was like, I'm now gonna get a Pokemon Go and go Pokemon hunting. So that's like a really cool thing, especially considering who this actor is. I'm not gonna say who it was because, well, he's actually not shown in the trailer. He's an integral part of the storyline, but that's what I love about the trailer. The trailer didn't lead to what the storyline was or anything for the most part. And that's good. I love trailers that do that hide key aspects of the movie so I don't know what to expect when I watch the movie. And yeah, overall, definitely go see this movie. Now, I will put this little bit of a spoiler. There is no after credit scene. And I'm only saying this because I used to work in the movie theater industry, and I do know that people need to clean between shows. So, yeah. So, yeah. Nothing after the credits. Nothing during. Oh, there's a little bit of a stylized character design thing that happens during the show. I mean, during the initial part of the credits, but there's no teaser for a follow-up movie. There's no teaser for any spin-off movies. There's nothing like that. So yeah, you don't have to stay for after all the credits, but definitely go and support the movie so that way we can get more Pokemon movies. All right, so this is your friendly neighborhood outlaw, Johnny Starwin. Take it easy, trainers. Go have fun.